Concerto was one of Felix Mendelssohn's final major works. In July 1838, he wrote to Ferdinand David, the concertmaster of the Leipzig Gewandhaus Orchestra, "I should like to write a violin concerto for you next winter. One in E minor runs through my head, the beginning of which gives me no peace." Yeah, it's amazing to hear the whole thing from a different perspective, not from the middle of the orchestra. It's fantastic how she gets into the instrument and really makes it sing. I don't think you couldn't play this on any other instrument. This could only be violin. Born in 1809, Felix Mendelssohn was raised to be a success. His parents hired tutors for him to study music, art, literature, and languages. He was shown off in society and sent to learn from leading German intellectuals. Felix's childhood was framed with music, and on Fridays, Felix and his sister Fanny attended Carl Friedrich Zelter's musicianship classes. Zelter was an evangelist for Johann Sebastian Bach, who at that time was generally considered an unintelligible musical arithmetician. Bach played a huge role in Felix Mendelssohn's life. Mendelssohn championed his music by editing and conducting the St. Matthew Passion, which had not been heard in over 100 years. It was not only obscure, but contrary to the tastes of a conservative Berlin. The enduring popularity of Bach owes much to this performance. By the early 1820s, the musical parties at the Mendelssohn household had become an institution of Berlin's artistic society. The family was wealthy enough to hire musicians of the court orchestra to play Mendelssohn's new music, alongside that of established composers. By the age of 14, Mendelssohn had composed numerous works, including his 12th and final string symphony. It was an assignment from Zelter, which Felix, as always, tackled with seriousness and motivation. While the young musician worked harder than ever to meet growing expectations, he also found time for swimming, landscape drawing, studying the plays of Shakespeare, things teenagers do, or at least did at the time. But still, between all of this, Felix wrote his octet for strings, trying his hand at an entirely new genre. It was a phenomenal success. I think it's something really special about the SCO that we have this opportunity to play chamber music together. I mean, obviously when we play as an orchestra, we're making from chamber music, but then to have the opportunity to play in smaller groups like this and to play repertoire like this, it's so exciting. And you can tell it's Mendelssohn, can't you? It just has that flavour, doesn't it? Immediately, completely alive and exciting and full of that youthful energy. Mendelssohn was a man of ideals. Through his whole life, he loved his work and his commitment to music was absolute. Though everything else may appear shallow and repulsive, even the smallest task in music is so absorbing and carries us so far away from town, country, earth, and all worldly things that it is truly a blessed gift of God. And nowhere else is this more evident than in his violin concerto in E minor. The violin concerto is a work from the heart. The violin speaks to us from the second bar of the piece. There's a sense of urgency which runs throughout the three connected movements. So much of this piece is composed around this simple arpeggio, and yet it's so melodic. You would think that would mean it wasn't melodic, but it's incredibly melodic, and it's incredibly passionate. You can sort of see how he composed it and where it started from and how he sort of takes the melodic line in different directions. Finally performed in public for the first time in March of 1846, the E minor opening, which gave Mendelssohn no peace, continues to haunt contemporary audiences. I feel that in every fresh piece, I succeed better in learning to write what is in my heart, and after all, that is the only right rule I know. Felix Mendelssohn died on November 4th, 1847, at the age of 38. His funeral closed with a performance of the final chorales of Bach's St. Matthew Passion, a fitting tribute to the musician, composer and conductor who had resurrected the work.